Shalom. It's Shamak. Mashanakabala Hazakun Shakadarakab. Shalom to everybody tuning in, listening, and learning, getting this edification from several brothers doing this ministry from the four corners of the earth. Shalom. Risking their life and freedom to do so. It says, Romans chapter 1 and verse 16, for I am not ashamed of the gospel of Yahweh Shah, for it is the power of Yahweh unto salvation to everyone that believeth, to the Jew first, and also to the Greek. So the gospel of Yahweh Shah is the power of salvation. You know what I'm saying? Prophesying. You know what I'm saying? Because we have a testimony. You know, we got a testimony, and we're supposed to live it out. You know, we're supposed to live out this testimony of prophecy. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 9. Verse 10 says, and I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, right? This angel speaking to him, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shah. Worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahweh Shah is the spirit of prophecy, right? So, you know what I'm saying? The Jew and the Greek, you know what I'm saying? You know, we both have the spirit of prophecy because we all prophesying. You know, here it is in the last days. And, you know, the Lord is putting the spirit on men to prophesy, like he said in the scriptures. All right, and, you know, the blue letter goes off, you know what I'm saying? When I go into this word Jew, you know what I'm saying, it say some, you know, some crap, some bull crap. But let's go to get this word Greek. In that verse G 1672, it says Helen. You know what I'm saying? And we know Helen goes back to Hellenization, you know. Let me get this word Helen. It says AI overview. The verb of Hellenize originates from the ancient Greek verb Hellenizane, meaning to make Greek. All right, so what these Grecian empires was doing, they was making you people, you niggas too, you niggas Greek, or to adopt Greek ways, right? You was taking on the heathen customs just like you did before, you know what I'm saying? For example, the time of the land of Egypt. The term refers to the process of Greek language and culture, right? Because and during the time of Egypt, because you know you had our people taking on the idols, you know, that the heathen was doing in that time. The term refers to the process of Greek language and culture spreading, right? So they just like you do in America, you're spreading your culture. You know, you're basically showing people the American way of life, or the Greek way of life, commercializing it. Language and culture spreading and influencing other cultures, often during the Hellenistic period after Alexander the Great's conquest, right? Just look at the Elamite women, the East Indian women, for example. You know, all of these East Indian women in America, you know, they've been given the open door to, you know, not wear the modest apparel that they usually wear, and wear this American you know, attire that show their ass, and, you know what I'm saying, basically, you know, just like the sexy red is basically the same thing. It's like, you know, they don't keep their customs of wearing, you know, the modest apparel, you know, which is a righteous attire for women, but they wear that one shit, the one shit that make, you know, that basically that that shit that show your ass, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, there you go. With that's that, you can use that as an example of it being Americanized, just like, you know, Hellenization, you know what I'm saying? And they say that process of Greek language, it says the term refers to the process of Greek language and culture spreading, and influencing other cultures. And you got to believe that Esau was influenced by, you know, other cultures as well. Even in this time, you know, these Grecians I'm pretty sure they were doing the idols of the other heathen. You know what I'm saying? So um, that's just a side note. But let's go to the book of First Maccabees. Actually, before I'm gonna get the First Maccabees, but let's go to Alexander the Great. Um, you know, it says Alexander the Great, also known as Alexander the Third, of Macedon, was a brilliant military leader who, at a young age, conquered a vast empire. He became king of Macedonia at 20, inherited a trained military, and quickly expanded his kingdom through military campaigns. His reign was marked by numerous battles, including those against the Persian Empire and the establishment of a large Hellenistic empire. There you go. So that's another example, you know what I'm saying, of Hellen. You know what I'm saying? Hellen meaning you picked up those ways of the Greeks. Now let's get First Maccabees. That don't mean that you're a Greek, you know what I'm saying? The Hellenized, they took on the customs. The Greeks were Edomites. Let's go to First Maccabees, chapter 1 and verse. I'll start at verse 1. It says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius king of the Persians and the Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece. So there you go. The Lord set him up. You know what I'm saying? He allowed him to win those battles. So and the Lord, basically, set up Alexander, you know what I'm saying, the Great, to be the first that was to reign over the Grecian Empire. You know what I'm saying? Leading all those battles. Verse 2, and made many wars and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went. So he was proud, you know what I'm saying? The Lord gave him a lot of power in this time, and went through the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, and so much that the earth was quiet before him. Therefore, whereunto he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up. So yeah, he was very proud, because the Grecians is also referenced as leopards. You know what I'm saying? In the book of Daniel, the 7th chapter. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, and verse I'll go to verse 2. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the earth of the heaven strove upon the great sea, and four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. And first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man. Right, so this is talking about the Babylonian Empire. You know what I'm saying? It says, and a man's heart was given into it, right? Because Nebuchadnezzar, spearheading the Babylonian Empire, took down the original Babylonians, which were Assyrians. You know what I'm saying? And let me see something real quick. All right, so this is the Wikipedia for the Neo-Babylonian Empire, or Second Babylonian Empire. That's why it was raised up. You know You know what I'm saying? Because that's that Neo-Babylonian Empire came into power. It says historically known as the Chaldean Empire was the last polity ruled by monarchs native to ancient Mesopotamia, beginning with the coronation of Nabopolassar as the king of Babylon. It says in 626 BC, and being family established through the fall of the Assyrian Empire in 612 BC. So yeah, that's it made stand up the feet as a man because it was a transition from one Babylonian empire to another. You know, the Syrians were the original Babylonians, and the Neo-Babylonian Empire, which is the second Babylonian Empire, basically was a conquering over the Assyrians. So it says Daniel chapter 7 and verse 4, it says, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. All right, it was spearheaded by Nabopolassar. And it says, and behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, arise, devour much flesh. Right, so this is the Persians and the Medes, and Darius, if I'm not mistaken, I think Darius, whichever one was the younger brother. Let me see. No, I ain't gonna. Let me see. Right, I ain't gonna look all of them up, but let me see. I got the term rulers of Persia and Medes. I know it was Darius and let me see. But he had a brother, but I ain't gonna do it for the second time. Maybe I can go to that next lesson. But the bear was the Persian and Mede Empire. One became greater than the other. And it says the 3 ribs. That's what they conquered. That's the lands that they conquered. Okay, the Persians and Medes primarily through Cyrus the Great conquered. Darius was a Mede. Conquered 3 major lands: the Median Empire, Lydia, and Babylon. So that's what it's talking about. It's talking about the three ribs. It says 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. Verse 6, it says, after this I beheld. Darius. All right, when you go to First Maccabees 1:1, it says Darius, king of Persians and Medes. Sorry, so there you go. He took Darius down. But it seemed like it was spearheaded by Cyrus. But I ain't gonna linger too much on that subject. Let's go to the next verse. It says, at this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard. So here you go. This is the point. Another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. So let's go into those 4 heads. Cause yeah, the four wings, after Alexander's death, the kingdom was split, into four different, you know, let me see. All right, this is AI overview. It says Greece can be broadly divided into four geographic regions: Macedonia, Central Greece, the Peloponnese, and the Greek islands. These regions are not official administrative um, administrative divisions, but rather traditional geographic areas located in northern part of Greece. Okay, let me see something. Going back to, because that's what that was talking about when it said four wings, and we going to the four heads. Let me see. Anti Antagonist, Cassandra, Ptolemy, and Seleucus. There you go. That's what it say. The four heads. Go back to First Maccabees and go to the third chapter. The First Maccabees 1 in the third verse, and went through the verse 2, and made many wars. Still talking about Alexander, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth, and went through the ends of the earth and took spoils. Let me jump down to verse 4. And he gathered a mighty strong host. Let me jump down to verse 5. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. So the Lord plagued him with a disease. Verse 6 it says, wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. Before he died, he gave his kingdom over to these men that was around him during his youth. Antigonus, Ptolemy, and Seleucus. All right. There you go. These are Edomites. Get down. This is, let's start at verse 10. And there came out of them wicked men. It says, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, her name Epiphanes. All right, this is a different time. It's a little bit later, after Alexander died. So let me jump down to verse 13. Then certain people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. All right, you had some niggas that was so proud that they went to go follow the ways of the heathen. Verse 14, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. Right, so they started living that way of life. They were becoming Hellenized. You know what I'm saying? Just like we're Americanized. This is not our kingdom. This is our captivity. You know what I'm saying? So this is where, we learning the ways of America. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Grecians, people that wasn't of the nation of the heathen, were, living the lifestyle or living the way of life under heathen rulership. You know what I'm saying? And once again, Hellenization. And made themselves uncircumcised, right? So they were sewing even down to sewing the foreskin on back to their penises, becoming uncircumcised. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the wickedness that Antiochus would promote in his kingdom. You know what I'm saying? So this, you got to remember, this is a kingdom where you can eat pork. You know what I'm saying? You can do same sex. That's the type of kingdom that the Lord is against. You know what I'm saying? And our people would take on those customs and be like the heathen. So but now we got the Gentiles being grafted in. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna end it with that. Lord's willing, this is edifying to an elect member. But what do you have about give me a spiritual lesson? Shalom, Kor Shala.